Hey guys, it's Ryan here. Thank you so much for clicking my video. If you guys are interested in finding out how I got this natural glam look, make sure you keep on watching. Let's get into it. Alrighty guys, so my first step that I'm going to be doing today is moisturizing my face. So what I use to moisturize my face is just some simple oils. First oil I'm going to use is the Rose Hip Facial Oil. You can see that. Rose Hip Facial Oil. I'm just going to apply a few drops to that all over my face, and then we can get started. Just a little bit. Alrighty, now that that's done, next step that we're going to do is I'm going to go in with my face correcting colors. And the palette I'm going to be using to help me do that is going to be by Kiss New York Professional Cream Contour Palette. This is a cream contour palette by New York, and I'm going to be using this red color right here and then this pinky color right here. It's going to just cancel out my dark spots and stuff, so we can go ahead and do that. I'm going to just blend all this out to make sure I get an even blend. I'm going to use my personal mirror on my eyeshadow palette because I really like to get an up close view, but I don't want to be all in y'all's face. We're just going to take this beauty blender and we're going to blend all that out. Almost till like you get a really faint red tint on your face. That's what you want. Cover all those dark spots and allow my foundation to go in and just correct everything. Oh, the way this is blending out, you almost could use this as like a liquid blush. Idea for a different time. Once we finish blending all of this out, what we're going to do next is apply our foundation, of course. Shout out to this palette, by the way. This is a build your own palette by MAC. Amazing, y'all. The colors in this thing are beautiful. Beautiful. My favorites are these bottom rows and then this gold. Honey, I'm gonna have to do a swatch video, but man, this palette is like everything, but I'm really just using it for the mirror right now. Alrighty. Great. Once we finish blending out all of this, now we're gonna go on with my foundation. The foundation I'm going to be using today is going to be the Match Master by MAC. I'm currently using the color A29, I believe, or no, 8.0. Is that a color? I don't know, y'all. I just used the product. Alrighty, so I'm going to be going in with this product with my 08 brush by NYX. It is a professional makeup brush. This is 08 brush by NYX. I'm going to be going in with this. It's kind of got a bushy end, but it tapers off at the end. It gives me a lot of control, so I can control the way I blend in my makeup and everything else. So this is a really, really good brush for foundation. So this is what I'm going to use. Just take a few pumps of this on the top. For the most part, I don't really have a lot of covering up to do when it comes to my makeup. So I really just add it and build it up. So that's what we're gonna do. I just like to put dots across the face, dots everywhere. Then we'll work those dots in and see what we're working with. I do like to use a combination of the brush and the beauty blender. Some people use just the beauty blender to blend in their foundation. I am not one of those people. I like to first use the brush that I'm using, which is the 08 NYX brush. Then I'm going to go back in and use my beauty blender to make sure everything is fully blended out. That way I get a nice, even, natural tone to my face. Sorry, I forgot I can't cover you guys' face. Definitely work this stuff down into your neck, you guys, because that really helps even out the tone. Some people don't go all the way into the necks. I am not one of those people. I go into my neck because I feel like it's important to blend out and make sure everything is even, because if you don't, then you'll just look like a bunch of different colors. So we're gonna make sure we get all that blended out, all of it evened out. Once you feel like you got a nice little basis today, because like I said, I am going to be doing a natural beauty look, so it's going to be kind of not really on the glam side today. It's going to be a nice natural look on how to achieve a nice pretty natural look, whether you want to go out and stuff like that. Just on an average day, this is the kind of look I'm going to be doing. So I'm trying to keep the foundation to a minimum and really just using it to fix up some spots on my face, but mostly today I'm just going to be using it to accent my face. I know a lot of people on YouTube like to watch the glam looks, but it's also really beneficial to have these natural looks as well. So you do have your nice go-to looks when you are going out every day. You want to have these go-to looks. I do tend to take my foundation and go behind the ear and bring it down. The reason I do that is because when you turn and people look at you in profile and stuff like that, you want to make sure everything is even. So if you got a nice, pretty, even foundation up here and you turn, somebody's like, oh my God, what's that? Because over here and stuff looks crazy, I don't have anybody do that. So I like to turn, get behind the ear, blend down, lift the chin up, blend down, look this way, blend down, behind the ear again, and blend down. This is a very extra step. It's not necessary, but it's a step I take to ensure that my makeup is evenly toned and nobody questions me. And I always get the question, are you wearing makeup? That's because of that step. You blend it out to where it looks like your skin, so nobody questions you. So it's just like you have a nice, flawless skin and it doesn't look like anything else. Alrighty, once I finish getting my base down with my foundation, I'm gonna go back in with my Beauty Blender brush and I'm just gonna pat everything in. Honestly, guys, when they say beat your face to the gods, they are not joking. This is literally me beating my face up, you know? Beauty is pain, as they say, but it's not as painful as it looks, but you definitely are beating your face to make sure this is all just sunk in nice and flawlessly. Alrighty, once that's sunk in, I'm actually going to be going in with my NYX Professional Makeup Matte Finish FINI Matte Spray. I use this a lot, so please ignore the wear and tear. Obviously, this is one of my favorite products. I just missed it over to make sure I've set this first layer. I do this a lot. I'll do a layer and then I'll spritz and then do another layer and then spritz and then do another layer and spritz. And this is just to ensure that I'm getting even and nothing is moving. Also, it helps the process of sinking stuff in a lot faster, and I found that this works for me, that it helps to make my skin look really dewy and nice and natural. And I'm just going to go back over with my Beauty Blender and just blend that right back over once again. Now I've got a nice even layer of foundation, not too heavy. You can still see a little of my birthmark and stuff because I'm not using the makeup today to really cover my face and do a full coverage look. Today I'm just doing a really light, dewy look with a natural, nice brown look so I can look like a really natural. So that's what we're going for. So once we finish with the foundation, I'm going to actually go in with my favorite concealer. Y'all should see how this setup looks. I'm so all over the place, it's ridiculous. Okay. So I'm going to be going in with my 24-hour Studio Fix concealer, one of my faves. Between MAC, NYX, Juvia's Place, and pretty much anything I can get my hands on in an affordable price, I'm using all the time. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to apply this to my T-zones, which is very necessary for me because then I can cover up all of my imperfections. Alrighty, so I'm going to take this and I'm just going to make a triangle like this on each side, a triangle like that. Like I said, today is going to be a natural look, so I'm not going to go super deep into contouring. Otherwise, I would have this like really heavy. We're going to do a few lines on my forehead, and then we're going to do a little thing on my chin. Alrighty. Once that's done, I'm gonna go back in with my handy dandy beauty blender. I'm gonna be using this pointy part. I know some people like to differentiate which side they use for which things. I usually like to use this part to blend out my like dark contour that I have going on, and then this tip to really use on the inner corners of my eyes and blending out stuff like that, because it's just a lot easier to maintain and use, so I do it like that. But it's a preference, but you don't really have to do it like that, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna take this beauty blender now, and I'm just gonna go in and blend all this out seamlessly just as before. And yeah, you can see I kind of blend in a rotating way. I go around and rotate like this and just really go around so I can make sure I blend out those corners. Also make sure you get underneath your chin so it all blends out. And now I'm gonna go underneath the cheeks, and I saw this from Nikki Tutorials and I really liked it. What she did was she worked her concealer from the bottom and worked it up so you can get the most amount of concealer coverage underneath the eyes. That's what I like to do. I just work it down here at the bottom, and then as I go up I just like to, you know, dab underneath the eye so I have the most coverage underneath the eye. And I don't think she created this. I think she got this from somebody else, so I'm copying Nikki, who's copying somebody else. So props to whoever started this, because it is an amazing thing. Yes ma'am. Alrighty, same thing to the other sides. It's okay if you get concealer and stuff up on your eyelids. I really don't mind if that happens, because I'm literally going to go back over it later to do my eyelids and stuff with more concealer. So honestly, just blend it out with your beauty blender and keep it moving. It's nothing to worry about. I do have people ask me a lot, you know, how did you get into makeup? My mom is actually a professional makeup artist here in Atlanta, and she does makeup all around freelance, and she's done makeup for some name things. She's been in some magazines, some billboards, you know, and things like that. So she is the one that I kind of watch when she's doing her makeup. But then at the same time, I kind of, you know, got my own style to it. I'm gonna go back in with this spray here, spritz again, help let it sink in faster. But she's the person that I kind of watched, you know. And then also I watched my favorite YouTubers do their makeup and saw what they were doing and were like, oh, that's really good, you know. So I've developed myself in the time that I've, you know, been watching my mother and then just doing my own thing. I've kind of developed my own little look and my own way of doing things. Alrighty. Now that I've got all of that nice and evened out, the next thing I'm going to be doing is going in with my dark cream to kind of chisel my face a little bit. Very, very slight. Like I said, I'm not going to be doing too much contour today. What I'm going to be using to do that is actually going to be the Bobbi Brown palette. It comes and it's really cool. It's this two-sided thing, and it's got all of these colors, and you flip it and it goes to the side. So we're going to be going to the very, very darkest shade here on this palette. And I'm going to be using that to go here. I'm going to be using that to go here, here, tick around, a little on my nose, and then here. And then we'll be done. Blend it all out and it'll be fine. The brush I'm going to be using to do that today is going to be this one. This is going to be the one I'm blending out. Honestly, this is the oldest brush, like old, okay? I have no idea where I got this brush from, so I honestly can't even send you in the right direction to get this brush. So yeah, but any brush that's got this kind of head that's super flat, it's durable, and honestly I use this because it's the exact same shape as where I'm going to be blending, so I kind of just do a motion like this and it works for me. This is not the only contour brush you can use. There's plenty of brushes around that you can use. This is the one that I found that works for me and the one that I use the most, so this is the one I'm going to end up using. I'm going to go in with this dark color and I'm just going to apply it with this brush to actually put it on my face, and then I'm going to actually blend it out with this brush. Alrighty, I'm gonna get my handy dandy Build Your Own palette by MAC mirror, and we're gonna put this stuff on. Alrighty, so we're gonna have right here in this corner part, like I said, it's gonna be very, very, very light contour today. Now I know you guys are not familiar with me yet, but when you get familiar, you will understand that this is a very, very natural look for me. Most of the time, I love to do a natural look, a natural beauty look, things like that. But for the most part, I live for the dramatics. So, I mean, I'm trying to be an actress, so guys, come on. That's what's going to happen. Dramatics. And I just kind of put that down here to warm my face back up. I make sure I take this and swoop it up, and I do that for my face shape because it's very fluffy. So I like to carve out my cheeks to make it look a little sharper. Alrighty. And then I'm gonna go back in with more concealer. I know, she's putting more, she's crazy. No guys, this is just what I do to make sure that I hold on to it. Because I find that when I do this with the I can't speak today. I find when I do this with the contouring, with the dark brown, my face kind of like leaves. So I like to do this. So I'm gonna go in and really just brush in. When you got it on this outer line of your cheek, you really just want to brush in and make sure it gets down into your face and into your neck. You really just, please forgive the faces, all this stuff. You do that to stretch out the skin, so you can get to all these places. Alrighty, now we're gonna do this one very, very slightly. As you can see, I'm doing very soft movements, and I'm just gonna kind of teeter and taper this off. Very slight movements. I'm gonna taper this off and just make it go what I want it to do. Stay in that light area. Same thing with this side. Going to take this very soft movement and then taper the end part off so we get it working down, taper it off. Now I always start off with the cream part for my contour, then I go back over with a powder, but we'll do that afterwards, after we get it kind of chiseled. I know you guys can see that, but it's gonna chisel, and we're gonna work all that out and blend all that out. Then I go back with my beauty blender and work back out this contour that I have. Just gonna spray this again. Go in with this. I'm just gonna blend that out. Roll it. I love finding different cool ways to kind of mess around with the beauty blender, just because it's like there's so many perks to using a beauty blender, y'all. Like, beauty blenders are literally like my holy grail for me. They really help me do a lot. Like, they help blend out things, they help stipple away certain things. Like if I messed up in a certain spot, I can do that and just stipple it back to how it was. There's, you know, just an endless amount of things you can do with your beauty blender, and I just love the fact that it gives me such a variety of things to do with my face. Alrighty, once I'm done with that, I'm gonna go back in with this brush, just warm stuff back up, you know, get it nice and warm. I like to go back behind it, this thing, and taper it up into the light part, just so it's an even blend, like that. Honestly, I'm not feeling contouring my nose today. Most times I don't have to, because it's just not necessary, and I'm doing a natural look, so I'm not gonna contour my face today, with my nose at least. Alrighty, so after we get to this part, my favorite part, baking. So I'm gonna be going into my baking with It's You Skin Perfecting Finishing Powder. This finishing powder actually came originally translucent. Give it a few pats so it drops down to the bottom. Whew. Y'all, this is where the magic happens. It is a yellowy tone. And the reason this is because I found a bootleg way to make banana powder using translucent powder. So you get the effects of translucent powder, but with banana coloring. So I took the banana powder that you would find when you're baking, and I dumped a little bit of that in here with this white translucent powder that you would find this to be originally. And I just kind of closed it and shook it up, and it made this magic concoction for me that works great with my skin, and I have no complaints. So that's what I use. So I'm gonna go in with this, my second beauty blender. Yes, ma'am, I have two beauty blenders. One to actually blend out foundation, one to apply my powder. This is literally only my powder blender, beauty blender. I don't use it for anything else. Literally just my powder beauty blender. I take this, I dump just a tad into the cap right here. Oop, more than a tad. That works a lot smoother off camera, but of course we're gonna show out today because we're on camera, so it's gonna mess up for me. So I'm gonna take this beauty blender, I'm just going to roll it in the top like this, so you guys have a nice coat. And then I'm just going to roll this right onto my face, like such. I'm gonna take this and dab this and roll it onto the places I want to stay highlighted on my face. So that's gonna be literally everywhere I put my contour that wasn't the dark one. So the light spots, my T-zone basically. I'm gonna be putting that right back under here. I'll use the pointy part to get under there. It's really just, this beauty blender works wonders. Like I said, y'all, I swear by this beauty blender. This is not a promotion video. This is just me fangirling about my favorite product, which is beauty blender. But guys, any kind of blender works really. You can get those cheap ones from the beauty supply store. They all work the same. They all get the job done. And it's great. Now, one thing I do that I don't know if people do differently, I know a lot of people sit and let everything bake until they get their eyeshadow done. I am not the person that does that. What I do to keep my natural look, first of all, I'm going to use my fluffy brush. Again, a very, very old brush. I am so sorry. These are like hand-me-downs, guys. My mom passed these brushes down to me, and then I use them. I wash them. Yes, I do every 2 weeks. So this is actually a really old brush, but I probably could find a brush like this similar somewhere else newer, but if it's not broke, don't fix it. So it ain't broke, so I'm not fixing it. But anyway, we use this brush, and I'm just going to use this to fan off all of the powder that's sitting on my face. Now, I do let my cheeks sit the longest, but what gets brushed off first is my chin and my forehead. And the reason I say that is because I do not like when those are too ashy. It just isn't my friend. I don't like it. So I take my brush and I just fan it off, y'all. Real fast movements, just brush it off. So it gives you that nice highlighted look without doing too much, right? Same thing. Forehead and the chin are the first ones to go for me. They do not stay long. I let them stay on long enough to do their job, and then they have to keep it moving, okay? So the only ones that are gonna stay are these. And now I'm gonna go back in with my contour set. Now I'm going to actually put the powder now on the dark spot underneath the yellow. That way it won't really combine, but it'll get me my dark. So I've got my duo set that I've got right here. I'm going to use this to contour my face with the powder. So I'm just gonna brush this brush right across these two like this. And we're gonna go in and get this darkness set in there. Just gonna pat it like this and work up that smoked look. Work that up in there. Same thing. Sometimes I like to squeeze the brush like this, so make sure I can get the product on there, and I just fan it back down onto my cheeks, you guys. As you can see, that added a lot more depth, and I'm just gonna go back under on the spots that I did on my neck, make that nice and chocolatey. That's funny that I said that. I didn't even explain that to y'all. I say it's chocolatey when I do that, my contour. I say it's chocolatey because it is, like me. Alrighty, so next we're gonna go into eyebrows. While this is baking. This does bake for a while, pretty much to the end, okay? So we let this bake. I'm gonna do my eyebrows, then I'll dust it off, then I'll do my eyeshadow. Most people would tell me that that's incorrect because you should let this sit on and then do your eyeshadow, and if there's any fall off, you can just dust it off with the rest. I don't care if there's any fall off, I'll just fix it. But I don't like to let it set too long because then I feel like feel like a cake monster. My pores are full of powder and I don't like it. So we're just going to leave it on for as long as I leave it on. So my next holy grails, eyebrow pencil from your local hair store. Literally nothing professional about it. It's got a little eyebrow spool in the back and then the little pencil up here. I use this all the time, which is why it's nubby. No, I do not sharpen it because I sharpen it with this. This actually has a name on it. Yay! It is my favorite Morphe brush and I'm going to be using the Morphe M4. I'm going to be using the Morphe M432 brush. It is a flathead brush and it is what I use to cut my eyebrows. Beautiful flathead brush. So I'm going to be using that. I'm also going to be using the end of this spoolie and this brush. This is also my Morphe E29 brush. I'm going to be using this. You would honestly use this if you were going to be using like a gel or a pigmented thing, but I really just use this to brush out my eyebrows to make sure they're super natural, super cut, super sharp, super snatched. So let's get into it. Alrighty, so I'm going to be taking this and my spoolie and I'm going to be brushing this up like this. You want to brush your eyebrows in an upward motion. Actually, let me get close to y'all. We friends, right? So we're gonna get real close. Alrighty. So we're gonna brush these out like this. Oh yeah. We're gonna brush these out. You wanna always take the bottom side of it, and I'm gonna go under. I just traced the bottom of my eyebrows, if y'all can see that. I traced it so I can get the shape of my eyebrows down, and I go back and I brush it so it looks natural and blends it with my shape. And I'm just gonna go through and really kind of just fake and draw the lines of my eyebrow. I prefer pencil over gel, and the reason I say that is because I can get a more natural look. So once we get all of those hairs brushed like that, we're going to go in with my Morphe N432 brush, as you can see right here, flathead. I'm gonna put some concealer on it, little beat down, broke up concealer, but who cares? It's not broken, so don't fix it. Yep, we're gonna put some of that on there. And I'm just gonna cut my eyebrows like I would normally. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna take this. I like to take and drag my concealer down after I cut it to make the blending out process a lot easier. I'm gonna go as close to it as possible while still staying with the shape. Cutting it down, pulling it down like such. I don't usually mess with the inner corner right here. I kind of just let that fluff out. I don't really do the top much either, but today I'll do it just to give it a little more definition. The tail end. Bring that out as well. And then we're going to just cut this top part of the eyebrow. Once you get it to how you like, you can go back in. Spritz a little, and then I'm going to take my, where is it, foundation brush, go back and really just blend out all of that was just done. Now, after I do that, I'm just going to take my spoolie and go right here in the front and brush that out, honey, because I don't want it that dark. Ready? We're gonna go back with the cut brush, just recut that front. Boom, just like that. Now we're gonna do the same with the other one, and I'll be right back. Now that I'm back and my other eyebrow is done, my next step is going to be to brush off this powder, y'all. It has been sitting for a minute, so we're just gonna go in and brush it off. Handy dandy. Build Your Own Palette by MAC. Mirror. Gonna take this, fluff this off, honey. After I do that, I'm going to go in with my blush. This is the MAC blush that I have. I wonder what color this is. Honestly, y'all, this is called Raisin, the Raisin powdered blush. I don't know if y'all can read that. Can y'all read that? I don't think you can. It's raisin colored though, y'all. So I'm gonna go in with my angled brush. Again, this is a very old brush. I cannot tell you where I got this from. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna take a little bit of this. We're gonna go in and put that on my cheeks, you guys. Let it blow. We're gonna just rub that right on. Get this that nice pinky color I like, but not. It's not super pinky. It's raisin. Gives you that nice brownie one, and then on that cheek. Yes, just like that. Same thing for the other cheek. Do a little artificial smile, pat right there, and then blend the rest out to the top. Up here, I do a little across my nose, add some warmth back, and then some up here, and some warmth back, just like that. Simple. And then, there, good. Alrighty, now that I've done that, I'm going to go in with my eyeshadow. Now what I use for the base of my eyeshadow is going to be this NYX Full Coverage Concealer. It's just a pale white color, a little tannish color, almost like the same color as your palm. Real creamy color. We're going to use that, okay? So I'm just going to, I use my finger for this part, y'all, so I just make sure I got a clean finger. I take this stuff and I slap it right onto my eyelids. It's very bright, very white. But since I like really pigmented colors for my foundation and my eyeshadow, I make sure I use this stuff so the color pops a lot. Just gonna stipple this into our face and just really just buff it in there. All right, guys, so now I'm gonna be going in with my MAC Build Your Own Palette, actually using the eyeshadow this time. I'm gonna be using the tan as a transition, then going into this orangey and then this dark brown color, if you can see. I'm gonna take this tan, I'm gonna really use it as my transition. Go in. Just gonna build that in there on my crease and work it up. I'm gonna go back in with my E17 brush and I'm going to be going into that darker color I was telling you about right here. Dip into that one. Put it a little bit lower so we have something to work with here. Now we're going to build that color up. Obviously, we're not going to work it up as high because we definitely want to see the transitions that we're trying to build here. Pack all those on, and then we're just going to go, and I like to blend things out in a circular motion like this. That way I can control where it's blending out to. I want to blend it out here, smoke it out there. I'm going to blend this out like this. Alrighty, once we've got all of that evenly spread out, I'm going to go in with my Morphe E17 brush again, and I'm going to be going into this dark chocolatey brown at the very end. Gonna be putting that right on my lid. It's gonna be building this color up because we're really gonna smoke that out. We've got that even out. We're gonna go do that to the other eye, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, now that I'm back with both my eyes done, we need to add some winged liner. Okay, once we finish that, we're gonna go in with my wings, aka my lashes. All right, guys, so now that my lashes are on, next thing we're gonna do is lip gloss. Last but definitely not least, we're gonna go in with my Patrick Star palette, and we're gonna be using this gorgeous shade right here, this gold at the top, to, of course, highlight. Ooh. Yes, ma'am. Alrighty, guys, this is the final look. It looks gorgeous. It's an everyday look, super quick and easy, and it was really, really simple to do. You only need a few things. You don't have to have a professional set to do it. It's a really nice look, and it's very easy to switch and make it a nighttime look. Simply rub this off, pop on a red bold lip, smoke this out with a little bit of black, and boom, you are ready to step out, honey. But it is a very simple look. I'm loving it. Loving it, loving it. If you guys like this video and you want to see more video from me, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can be alerted when I have more videos coming up. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. Hope you enjoyed it. And comment below if you guys want to see some more looks, and let me know what you guys would like to see. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.